Hey there, what's happening, everybody? Brett Synicky coming at you today with a fresh market update for Orange County. Thank you so much for being here and watching. There are so many buyers and homeowners preparing for the next housing bubble burst. We all know somebody who was affected by the last Great Recession when values dropped by so much and countless people lost their homes. Tragic. Now that home values have reached record levels once again and even surpassed 2007, is housing in a bubble again? I believe that just because people anticipate or expect another bubble doesn't make it so. The data actually shows the answer is a flat out no. The last housing recession was caused because anybody who could fog a mirror could buy a home. No down payment loans, negative adjustable rate mortgages, cash out refinancing, interest only loans. My favorite, the stated income loan. Imagine being able to tell your lender verbally what your income is without having to show proof. Seriously amazing. And too much subprime lending all contributed to the abnormal increase in values that caused the bubble burst in 2007. Prior to that pop, housing data showed market conditions that were lining up in favor of buyers. Inventory increased while demand fell. As a result, the expected days on market, or the time between putting a for sale sign in your yard to opening escrow, rose dramatically. The numbers were off a year prior to the subprime meltdown, which happened in March of 2007. In June of 2006, the expected days on market surpassed 150 days, a significant buyer's market. By year's end, it had grown to 225 days for all of Orange County. In 2007, it surpassed 150 days in March, and by July, over 290 days. By the end of 2007, sellers could expect days on market to be 451 days. Now, in 2019, the average days on market has remained between 60 and 90 days, still slightly in favor of sellers. There's not much appreciation, but sellers still get to call more of the shots on negotiations. Now, right in the middle of the autumn market, we're at 86 days expected before escrow. Interestingly, the big difference is supply versus demand. Right now, the active listing inventory is sitting at 6,616 homes. Way back in October of 2006, that number was over 15,000. By 2007, there were over 17,000 homes listed for sale. Current demand over the last 30 days of opened escrows is at 1,311. In 2006 and 2007, there were less than 2,000. Because supply was through the roof and demand was low, the average days on market reached very high levels prior to the Great Recession and was a strong indication that housing values would slip massively. Additionally, today it is so much more difficult to obtain financing now that you have to actually qualify for a loan and show all the paperwork and documentation necessary to back up your claims. The market is not as hot today as it was from 2012 through 2017, but that does not indicate a bubble. Demand is only slightly down and the active inventory is falling fast. Since 2012, there is a supply problem. Not enough available homes. That is still true today and will continue into 2020. Plus, low interest rates below 4% has significantly helped home affordability and will continue to fuel the housing market. Bottom line is that today's data shows a housing market with very strong footing, no bubble. Inventory is low, buyer demand is not weak, average days on market is low, again between 60 and 90 days, and interest rates are historically low. In the past couple of weeks, active inventory dropped by 204 homes, down 3%, and now totals 6,412, typical for this time of year. Inventory is falling and will pick up speed in the coming weeks as housing pushes deeper into the fall market. Sellers are aware that spring and summer is in the past. Showings are down and the holidays are fast approaching. Last year at this time, there were 7,282 homes on the market, 880 more than today. That's a 14% difference. Inventory is much different than last year as it continued to rise through Thanksgiving, with today's average days on market at about 85 compared to 111 last year, and climbing. Still remains a great time to sell. Homes priced below $750,000, it's still a hot seller's market with less than 60 days average on market before escrow. This represents about 38% of the available homes and 57% of the demand. As always, if you'd like a more drilled down to a specific neighborhood or area analysis, please send me a message. If you like what you see here, please write, review, rate, and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.